There is a topic that I particularly want to dive into today. Why don't you think that you could beat a squirrel in a fight?
Fuck's sake, is this really the first question?
Yes, it is.
No, it's why I do think I could be a squirrel in a fight.
Okay, pitch to me why you think that of all the animals you could beat in a fight, it's a squirrel.
Well, you just boot it.
Yeah, see, this is the point. I've had people come to me now, for whatever reason, this has been a central topic of discussion for me essentially every day. Everyone seems to think that they could beat a squirrel in a fight, and they don't realise how much chaos a squirrel would cause in a room. Trust me. How do you think? Right, so you're in a cage. You're in the octagon with a squirrel. You can't get out. He can't get out.
Okay.
And you're backing yourself in this ordeal.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, so what is your plan of action then for the squirrel?
Just run up to it full belt and just boot the fuck out of it.
You're not going to be able to boot it though. A squirrel is going to be so fast. It's going to fucking run up your leg, run round the back of you, start fucking eating the back of your head, and then run back down. You try and kick it. As your leg comes out, it's going to run up your leg, fucking grab your nuts and swing them round.
I mean, I hope not for my nuts.
Yeah, but it probably will. The squirrels like nuts. See, this is my point when it comes to the squirrel. I mean, Ethan's argument was that he would just pick it up by the tail and swing it around.
Do a fucking helicopter with it.
That's not going to happen. It's going to fuck you up.
Yeah, but it might do a lot of damage.
But you think in a fight to the death?
Yeah, for like a killing move, it would definitely have to be the tornado, the helicopter, the spin attack.
So you would argue that it might cause you some trouble, but on the whole, you're going to get the better of it.
Yeah, I'd say so.
How many? I don't think that you would. I don't think I could beat a squirrel in a cage fight.
Okay. What animal do you think you could beat in a cage fight?
Well,
ranking like 1 to 10.
Cool.
One being the hardest.
You're gonna give me a second on that one. Calling back to the question that instigated what shouldn't be as much of a debate as it is. The biggest animal I think I could beat in a fight would probably be a cow. Now, the reason why I'd say it should be a cow...
Cow tipping.
Well, exactly. People do it for a laugh already. Yeah. Now, this was my point was cow. Now, my mum said, if a cow runs at you, you could die from a cow. Now, I don't know how fast a cow is, but I would wage that it's probably not that agile. So, if it's running towards me...
If it's going in a straight line, I reckon it could probably pick up a bit of speed because of the weight carrying over.
Yeah.
But if it's trying to turn corners... You've got the upper hand.
That's what I mean. If you just wait for it like that and stare at it and it's running at you and you just jump out the way at the last minute and make sure you don't jump and you have to jump far enough out of the way that it can't sort of swing its head at you as you do it.
The last thing you want is for one of those fucking like horns to fucking catch you.
And that's they've got more of that than I do. But I still think I could beat a cow in a fight. I think I'd have more chance of beating a cow than a squirrel. Unless I get cornered.
True. If you get cornered by a cow, you're fucked.
Yeah.
But it all depends on how quickly you sit that motherfucker.
If they stand across you in a corner and just push, then yeah, you're not getting out of that. Squirrels don't have that luxury.
No, squirrels have the speed and the sort of rabidness, I guess you could say.
yeah, the ferocity.
yeah, like the ferocity. Cows are just sort of like, they're slow, but if you get caught, you're crushed.
Yeah.
It's game over.
Yeah.
It's the second it happens. So, I guess each to their own.
How much difference in fighting a squirrel versus a raccoon do you think there is?
Raccoons, I would find they would tend to hold their ground more. They'd sort of hold a territory.
Yeah.
They'd sort of have a gap between you and the raccoon.
Yeah.
Whereas with a squirrel, it would just come charging at you.
You think squirrel would get in the pocket and start throwing hands?
Yes.
Yeah. See, I have a strange love of the squirrel. The squirrel is probably my favourite animal outside of a dog.
Yeah.
Or a chimp. I like chimps.
Chimps are good.
But squirrels, there's something very, very amusing about a squirrel, and I think combined with their ferocious nature and my adoration of them as a thing, I don't think I could beat a squirrel in a fight.
I reckon I can still back myself.
See, do you know, I have to ask the question of why, of all animals around the size of a squirrel, that you chose a squirrel. You could have chosen... I mean, a bird is the same sort of size as a squirrel, and I'd probably rather fight a bird. Would you rather fight a pigeon or a squirrel?
Well, I mean, pigeons aren't the most deadly animal.
Exactly, but a squirrel and a pigeon might even be bigger than a squirrel.
I think it's because a lot of people tend to think, oh, size. The larger the predator, the more threat.
Are we calling a squirrel a fucking predator now?
Well, yeah.
To me, there would be. I'd be in trouble. I'd have to work something out with that.
To me and Ethan, it's sort of just like it's a squirrel.
It's a standard Tuesday morning that just so happens to involve a squirrel in an octagon. It's no different to any. I mean, Ethan thinks he can beat a raccoon in a fight.
Yeah, I don't think I could beat a raccoon.
You couldn't beat a raccoon in a fight. Have you seen the video of the guy with the wheelie bin that's on the floor, and he's got a broom, and he's trying to get the raccoon out of the bin? It fucks him up so well.
Though, I have seen a video of a guy that saved his dog from being attacked from a raccoon.
From a raccoon?
Yeah, from a raccoon, yeah.
I thought you were going to say kangaroo then.
No. I have seen that video of the man punching the kangaroo in the face, but the raccoon, this guy's dog was basically just being attacked by this wild raccoon, right? This guy just comes out of nowhere, picks up the raccoon, and just launches it down a set of stairs.
So it is doable then?
It is doable, 100%.
You can get the raccoon by the tail.
Yeah, I think you just got to catch it by surprise.
Oh, okay.
I think that's the trick to it.
They're bandits, though. They can probably catch you by the surprise.
Oh, yeah.
There's no surprises in a fucking octagon, though, is there? You got the floodlights are on. It knows where you are.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you got camouflage. Yeah, unless you wear a ghillie suit.
Yeah,
if you wear a ghillie suit in the octagon, you might be able to just lay down, go prone.
Yeah, I mean, the colours might be a little bit offset, but
yeah. I mean,
that's fine.
I reckon you could work it out
Somehow, eventually.
The question that has been asked here sparked a curiosity in me earlier when it comes to animals.
Right.
If you could, I'm gonna set it up with one question and then I'm gonna move on to another one. If you could be any animal, what would you be? And you're not allowed to choose a bird.
That's fair enough. I just would like to be a kangaroo.
A kangaroo?
Yeah.
They're naughty fuckers.
They are naughty fuckers, but just being able to bounce everywhere would be fucking sick.
And they're fucking hench.
Exactly.
In line with your goals, being a kangaroo is pretty much the way you want to go.
Yeah, pretty much. Being a kangaroo is my end goal.
Yeah.
To get some fat fucking tail.
Have you seen how hard they punch?
Oh, yeah. They can punch fucking hard. And their bite force is strong as well.
And they can kick you. If you get kicked by a kangaroo, you'll probably die.
Yeah, I remember reading something that their kick is strong enough to break the biggest bone in our body, the femur.
The femur.
Yeah.
Yeah. I reckon if a kangaroo kicked you in the chest, you'd die.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Probably mainly from shock rather than injuries. The injuries would carry it a long way, but the shock would probably take you over the edge.
Yeah, quite possibly.
That's tough. What about you?
I would be a chimp. Now,
from trees.
Yeah, right. My understanding of this is, every time I say this, people say, yeah, but humans are just better versions of chimps. But we're not. There are so many things that the chimp can do that we can't do. And the reason why, above anything, I'd like to be the chimp is because then I could masturbate in a tree and no one would have any problems with me doing it. I think the best reason for being a chimp is it's close enough to being a human that you get the good parts of being a human, but you can also fly through trees and you're strong as fuck and you're still quite smart.
Yeah.
I think, do you know orangutans?
Easy women as well.
Huh?
Easy women as well.
Exactly. They got harem with them at all times. They don't give a fuck.
They got the hurs with them.
Exactly. They're not bothered. You've seen the videos.
I've seen the videos.
The gorillas.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
right,
gosh.
orangutans. You know orangutans?
Yeah.
Do you know they're one of the only animals in the world that actually seems to have a comprehension, or the chimp world as a whole seems to be the only species besides us and a handful of others that actually have a comprehension of the sort of idea of having fun. So what orangutans do is they'll swing from trees they'll swing from dead trees. So they'll push dead trees and swing down with them. And just before they hit the floor or close enough to get to a branch, they'll swing off and jump off onto a branch. It's got a name, but the only reason they do it is for fun.
Sounds quite fun, actually.
Yeah, but
I quite like the sound of that.
do you ever think about the fact that animals don't do that sort of thing? Animals don't have fun in that way.
Yeah, I couldn't really imagine a cow swinging from
a tree. I mean, you'd be hard pressed to see that.
It'd be quite hilarious as well.
Certainly be entertaining.
I would be laughing if I saw that, but it wouldn't really be worth my time because you want to see the actual acrobatic get performed.
I'm sure they could probably do that. I'm sure you could get a cow to do some acrobatics and not have much of an issue with it. No, I think it would be a chimp for me because I feel... and chimps are funny as well. There are a few animals more entertaining to watch than a chimp.
Yeah, true. What have we seen? We saw some online videos of it was what was it? Chimp boxing, orangutan boxing.
Orangutan boxing.
Yeah, in where was it
Thailand.
Yeah, Thailand. Yeah.
If it's any variation on fighting, it's probably from Thailand.
Yeah, they
Asia.
Yeah, they do like to fight over there, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, lots of different martial arts.
Lots of kicking you in the head, even if you are an orangutan.
Lots of kicking you in the head. Fucking hell.
And my second, the lead-up question that I had teased before this was, if you had to replace your car with an animal, and you can't have a horse, a donkey, or a camel, what animal would you have?
Ostrich.
An ostrich?
Yep.
That's quite a good one, actually.
That was the first one that came to mind. They're probably fucking fast.
Yeah, they're probably pretty quick. I should add that you are a blight. The animal in question doesn't have any issues with you doing what you're doing. So you can stick a fucking... What's it called? You can stick a saddle on any of these animals and you're not going to have any issues. They will let you do it.
Or, if we're going Minecraft terms, pig and a carrot stick.
A pig's going to be fucking slow, though.
Yeah, but just imagine rocking up to work on a pig and with a carrot stick.
Yeah, but imagine rocking up to work on a gorilla.
We're going to parallel park that.
You wouldn't need to parallel park it. It just moved the other cars out of the way. This is my point. I would choose the gorilla. The gorilla's the perfect... The gorilla is like rocking up in a Humvee or like a Jeep. Just, it's a gorilla.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's fair enough. What would you say rocking up in an ostrich would be like then? Fucking
probably
Twingo.
Like a Fiat 500.
Fiat 500 or a Twingo.
Small, yeah, no, just a general smart car. Have you seen the tiny... When Ethan and I went to Amsterdam, I'd never seen these cars before. They've got these really fucking stupidly small cars. They make smart cars look like SUVs. They're the strangest little things.
I've seen, I remember watching on Jeremy Clarkson on Top Gear, one of the very old Top Gear episodes. There was a... Jeremy Clarkson did, this whole, thing on, this car, but, it didn't have, a normal body to the car. It had, it was, shaped so a human would fit inside this, outline. Yeah, yeah. And it's just got a steering wheel and a pedal, and that's it.
Yeah, that would be an ostrich.
And the fact that was road legal actually surprises me.
Yeah, I mean, these cars were much the same when it comes to that. They were essentially what I imagine the way we can have a moped earlier than we can have a car. Yeah, it's like that version of that. Just it's a car instead of a moped.
Yeah, pretty much.
They were retardedly small, and when you saw them, as you say, it's like if you get hit by that, the crumple zone is you. There's no leeway here.
Oh yeah, no.
This is a one and done ordeal. You in your coffin shall be that car.
Yeah, it's like the only car that has a worse crumple zone than a Mini. If
a Mini, the OG
Minis have absolutely fucking shocking bodywork.
Well, not all of them.
Not all of them, but majority of them. If you crash, that car's getting fucked up.
What? As a rule. I'm saying what Minis don't fall into this. Would Ethan's Mini be causing a problem? I thought that looked like a pretty sturdy car.
I don't know if it's any specific Mini. I just remember someone saying to me that just Minis just don't have very good bodywork strength.
I mean, I know that those old ones are fucked.
Oh yeah, the old ones are basically tin foil.
You're literally gliding along the floor into a building. There's not a great deal that's going to go right.
I'm surprised Mr. Bean survived so long in one of those.
Exactly, especially with the man's intelligence.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm surprised he even learned how to put it into first.
Exactly, he probably didn't. He probably just straight select geared it through all of his ordeals.
It's a lot of engine braking.
Yeah, like that clutch has been burnt for 2 decades. I'm going to move it into a sporting direction with a question that I think is important for people to ponder.
Okay. What are you going to say, Salah or Hazard? Or?
No, we should get there. How many toddlers do you think would be needed to tackle an NFL linebacker in full sprint?
Fucking hell. God, okay. I have to think about this one. Toddler, so we're saying like 3 years old.
I'm saying
about 2 foot tall.
A toddler, I would assume, let's say 3 years old, that tall.
Yeah, so about
let's say like a little bit shorter than this desk.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Right. About 2.5 feet. Okay. At least 250.
250?
Yes.
What the fuck do you have any idea how much fucking muscle that is? 250? I was thinking like 25.
No. If this linebacker's running full pelt, right? You got to remember, toddlers' minds are completely fucked.
No, for the sake of the point, right? Let's say, can you coach a group of toddlers to just encounter certain death? Is the question. I don't know whether if you said, look, just stand, because they are probably all going to disperse. So when they see Odell Beckham Jr. running at them, they're going to go, fuck, walk out the other way. So actually, on that point, you might have to get enough of them to sort of startle the other ones. So that that if some of them move, they go, what the fuck's going on? Oh, Odell.
To be fair, actually, he would probably trip over a kid.
Yeah, see, this is...
Depends how much force
We're on
he
a budget here. We don't...
Yeah.
I don't think 250... I think if you set them up in the right formation with enough sort of distraction techniques in play, I think you could probably do it with 13.
13, wow.
Yeah. If you think about it,
close to my guess.
Let's do it on a mathematical... I mean, 250 is going to work, but as I say, we've got to work it on, rather than an entire football field's worth of toddlers, let's just do like half a classroom, because we can probably put that into action in a later video.
Yeah, 13, 15.
I think if you can get about half a dozen of them, right, you've got... How much does a toddler weigh? 3 stone?
Varies.
I'd say about 3 stone.
If we're talking modern day toddlers, we're talking about 10 stone at least.
15 stone. Also. No, I reckon if you say that means you'll have about 40 stone and about 27 foot's worth of toddler against one 200-pound 6'4" bloke. That now, when you put it like that, all of a sudden, if we stack them all on top of each other, then now he's going up against a Goliath, not toddlers.
It's quite a thing, Goliath.
What do you mean?
Like, I'd say if we stack them up in like a wall, and then it's like a wall moving as you instead of just like 13 people stacked on top of each other.
Yeah, the only thing is though that then you're going to need more like 250 of them.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're expensive.
Yeah, and I don't think we would have the funds to pay 250 sets of parents to say, we're going to pay you this amount of money because your child is at death's edge right now. So
does your child want to meet Michael Jordan? Well, he's not going to do it this time because Michael Jordan plays basketball. But
it's Odell Beckham.
Does he want to get tackled by some famous linebacker that Tom doesn't know the name of? Oh, you're in luck. Who's the one that's white bloke, very famous? Tom Brady, that's the one I was thinking of. I don't even know if he's a linebacker.
Huh?
Tom Brady is the one that I was thinking of when I said Michael Jordan. How dare I?
2 different sports.
Exactly, that's my point. What's the second best sport to football?
I could be biased and say golf.
Hang on,
I do really enjoy watching golf.
Do you know what? I would be interested to explore this point with you because I think people's immediate point on golf is that's not a sport. Why is golf? Yeah, but boring sort of people can go, well, cricket is boring, but it is a sport, even if you have tea and biscuits at half time. Why is golf a sport?
I would say it is because just because running happens in a sport doesn't mean it's not sport. I mean, look at fucking the horse dancing shit.
Equestrian.
That
horse dancing shit is
that is the actual description of it.
Yeah.
How is that a sport? The person doesn't even do any running. So granted, it takes balance, a lot of bosey ball work, right?
I'm gonna let you carry on with the point and just unleash some game in a minute. Just carry on.
But for golf, you need a lot of back strength, ab strength, shoulder strength, arm strength. You need a lot of flexibility, and hand-eye coordination. Everyone knows that in sports you need some form of coordination, or else it's gonna be like quap all over again. Yeah, and we remember how painful that game was. But there are so many aspects about golf that are actually need, which you'll find in other sports. And I think that's what people forget. Just because it's walking around 18 holes of a golf course doesn't mean it can't not be a sport. Yes, beer is the water of that sport. Yeah. Not the point, though.
Right. So the more pressing matters have surfaced since this comment was made. Okay. Why do you think that horse riding is not a sport?
Granted, you do need balance. But it's like the person gets the gold medal in the Olympics, not the fucking horse. In the horse's eyes, it's a sport.
I don't think it is. I think the horse is just running.
In the human eyes, it's sort of like more of a talent show. Which horse can do the same trick the best?
Have you ever ridden a horse?
No.
Right. As someone who has ridden a horse, it is fucking terrifying being on one of those things. You are about that high in the air. Yeah. With something that the minute it breaks from any more speed than stationary feels like you're going fucking 70 miles an hour in a Ferrari. It hurts like fuck to move those things. And the only reason that they move in the direction that they move in is because you make them do it. You have to push them along. It's quite a lot of work in your legs to actually move the horse. And call back just quickly to the...
just realised we went and watched horse racing.
Yes, we did go and watch horse racing. We'll make a point of that in a minute. This is where I should bring this to. What were the attributes that you correctly named as integral to golf that make it a sport?
Ab strength.
Okay. Right, that's one shot down. Are we going to go for any more, or should we?
I'd say you need a lot of ab strength in horse riding. Yeah.
Are you starting to see the flaws in the argument?
Yes.
Think about it. Would you rather stand on a tee, irrespective of your height, and
6'2" middle size.
Yeah, I mean, if that's in play, with a beer and swing a piece of metal, even if that's hard, or go 40 miles an hour towards a fucking 6 foot high piece of wood on a horse?
I would much rather whack a golf ball with a metal stick, no matter how hard and how much I want to snap all of my clubs.
Yeah, when you use them. Well, that's the nature.
With a Stella in the other end.
I mean, you're going to be hard pressed to do that. Actually, if we use the technique that you have brought into play of how best to throw a golf club,
yes,
then we might be in play. How best is it to throw a golf club? If I want to throw a golf club at someone, how do I need to do it?
So you want to take a baseball sort of grip, come back, full body rotation. I can't believe I'm explaining the steps on how to throw a golf club properly.
Someone's going to need it.
So one of you is going to need this. Baseball grip, on the grip or on the shaft. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Full body rotation all the way
shoulder.
back. Make sure you have full force coming through. Yeah?
Yeah.
So full force coming through, side onto the body. So you want the golf club pointing out in front of you. Full force. Flick the wrists at the end. The club will then twirl in the air. And it will fucking launch. If you get the trajectory right, that thing is going.
Yeah.
And it's going far. And it won't break because it will land on its side and not on the head or the shaft.
What happens if I've only got to throw it like 2 foot because someone's standing directly in front of me?
Still throw it as hard as possible because it could knock them out.
Is there any difference between throwing it at someone and just throwing it?
No.
Okay, good.
Definitely not.
That's good to know. And on that point, if you could be any warrior or sort of soldier type character in history, what would you be?
I don't know.
I'd be a samurai.
That's pretty fucking cool, actually.
They're pretty cool.
You have got your samurai sword there.
Exactly.
So. Samurais are pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'd probably just say Roman.
Yeah, but the Romans are kind of gay though, so
That's the point.
that's why I chose it.
Impress the bros.
Yeah. Do you know why? Have you heard about that?
What?
Why the Romans being extremely fruity with each other?
I think briefly, but I've forgotten.
It was basically they were more than fruity with each other.
Good.
As to create solidarity with one another. So basically, it's like the difference. If you're fighting alongside someone you don't know versus fighting alongside your lover, you're going to fight more valiantly for the person that's next to you.
Because you don't want them to die.
Yeah, because
Makes
they're
sense.
your lover, because they're good at it.
So does that mean in Gladiator? Does that mean Gladiator is false? You know that this is Sparta scene.
That's not Gladiator. that's a totally different movie. That's 300.
300.
Yeah.
That's what I meant, not Gladiator. Sorry.
Yeah.
Does that mean that was just completely wrong? It should have been
No,
this is Sparta.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm sure there was a bit of that going on as well. We are.
Didn't see it. I didn't see it in it.
Yeah, no. But this is the thing: it wasn't like it's not fruity. It's brotherly. That's the difference.
Very privately brotherly.
Yeah. No, quite outwardly actually. The Romans didn't mind it. If you had 10 hours before the world was going to end, you had a broadcasting comes out that in 10 hours' time the world is going to end. What are your movements? You can, just for context, you are allowed to get anywhere that you want to go. So you can't teleport, right?
Yep.
Because that's taking the piss.
Yep.
But within reason, if something would be an hour's drive away, we can make that like 10 minutes for the sake of this.
Yeah. Ooh. It's a great question, actually. I don't really know what I would do.
I'd fight a raccoon.
I'd fight the squirrel.
Show him who's boss.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really... I don't actually know what I would do if I had 10 hours left to live. Or 10 hours till the world ended. Play some Minecraft.
Fuck me, you're living it up.
Yeah,
Really?
mate. Just play some Minecraft.
Is this not something you've really... Have you never thought about this?
I've never thought about this at all.
God, I've spent quite a long time thinking about this. I've got
You
a
spent
detailed...
the last 10 hours thinking about this.
Yeah. 2 days, actually. I've got a detailed plan of what it is that I would do.
What is it that you would do?
Right. So first of all, I would get a hold of a copious amount of illegal substance because it's the last day on the planet. So there's, in my opinion, the first thing that you would like is methamphetamine because you've got 10 hours. Well, right now let me put this into context first. The first 4 hours of that time, I would want to spend in as relative harmony and tranquility as possible. As in, I would want to be with my family, with my friends, saying goodbye.
Yep.
Okay, and the last sort of hour as well, I would want to be doing that. Maybe 2 hours.
Yeah.
So that's
one on a come down. I think that would be quite.
Well, you're not going to have that come down because you're on meth. So your come down is in 18 hours time. So you're not.
Are you going to start a World War III while on methamphetamine?
No, I see. Hitler already did that. Hitler's already done the starting a world war on meth sort of thing. So I'm not going to do that.
Right. Okay.
So
worth an ask.
It is a good thing that I'm not yet within the criteria to be monetised because this wouldn't be getting it.
Yeah, that's true.
I say I've given this a lot of thought, but I also think the only problem is I'd want to be sober for the last sort of hour, and meth's not going to let you do that. Meth, you're going to be pinging off the fucking wall.
I mean, it would depend what time of day when you've been given the last 10 hours. If it's 7 a.m, 10 hours from then, 5 p.m, that's enough time to go watch a sunset.
What time would you choose? I shall let you choose the 10-hour window.
I would genuinely choose 10 a.m. till 8 p.m.
Yeah, I think that's a good time.
Because
I mean, that's actually 12 hours, but
that's 10. That's 10.
That's 10. So so the sunset's the last way you're going on this.
Yes.
So you're spending your last time on your own.
Doesn't have to be on my own. I'll bring you over.
You're bringing the entourage up.
Yeah, well, yeah. Anyone that's died yet.
I have to say, that'd be a pretty fucking good sunset.
That'd be pretty good.
That'd be the.
You get two.
Yeah.
Just one would look a little bit more mushroom cloud-like, I feel.
I don't actually feel I would be anywhere near as scared of the world ending as I am of me dying.
Just because we're all in it together.
Yeah.
We're all in this together.
Once we know.
Exactly.
I would find, I suppose, if you die, you can't help but feel that there could have been some more time for you.
Yeah.
If the world ends, you know that's not possible. Because the world 100%. Has ended. There's no life afterwards.
Yeah, and it's the same for everyone else.
Yeah.
I'd say just get fucking hammered.
Yeah, I can't help but feel that I would.
Drink lots.
If there is any time to have the fucking party of your life...
It's those 10 hours.
Exactly. And as someone who sticks reasonably stringently towards doing good things, I don't think I'd give a fuck about doing good things. It's the last day on Earth. I'm not going to sit there going, God, I've got to make sure I meditate today. I need to make sure I get my 10 pages of reading done.
Yeah, because that's precious time that you're then on that last 10 hours. That's precious time that, granted, it will make you feel better in the long run, but
well, the long run's only about an hour and a half.
An hour and a half later.
No, I think actually, I tell a lie. I would meditate. I definitely would meditate.
Just to sort of accept it.
I'd spend a good hour. I reckon. As someone who's just said that they've given this a lot of thought, I realise that I've gone for a sort of shotgun pellet approach of just thinking, what are any of the things I could do? I haven't actually thought about it in depth. I think the first hour I would spend... I'd probably try and get away from everyone as quickly as I can as to go and just really think about it. Really think about it. Sit in my room or sit somewhere for a good hour and just really think about what's happening.
Yeah.
Because I think, I honestly, I mean, you wouldn't know until you were there, but I don't think I would be awfully affected by it. Don't get me wrong, I'd be sad and I'd be scared, but I can't help but feel that I wouldn't be, if I got a terminal diagnosis, I would not be having the same reaction as I am to this.
Yeah, because I feel like for those people who believe in like reincarnation or something like that, I feel as though we would end up reincarnating in a different part of the universe.
Go on.
So, just a completely new life form. I feel like when one life form would finish, a new one would start. And obviously that does technically sort of mean that there would be loads of new life forms and there would never be two life forms at the same time. Theoretically, if you think about it like that. But each life form is connected to a past. So each life form has different pasts, which means, yeah, there are still multiple life forms around at the same time. Yeah. Just their pasts come from so many different backgrounds that it allows them to be there at the same time.
Okay.
While, like, dying, while being erased each time and then moving on to the next life form.
See, I'm glad that you've pointed it in this direction, because one of the questions I actually wanted to ask you was, what are your beliefs when it comes to what comes after this? Do you believe in a God?
I don't believe in a God, but I do believe that there is an afterlife. I believe there is an afterlife. I believe that there is a chance, or you'll get a choice to come back as something else if you want to relive life again. You know, click that respawn button. Or if you want to stay as you are and watch your family progress.
How do you mean on that?
So, what if... It's a weird way of thinking about this. What if someone's God is their past loved ones?
You're going to have to elaborate there.
So, say I'm a granddad. I've just died. And my grandparents are old enough to obviously know who I am, blah, 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 etc. But what if I am the God that they believe in, for example? What if when they die, instead of seeing God or whatever, I don't know, they would see me instead, and I give them the choice to either live another life or watch over their family.
Where would you...
It's a very far-fetched point.
Where would you come into play when it comes to those that came before you, though? So if you've died and you've become their version of God, what about the people that came before you?
Oh, it's just a massive gathering, isn't it?
I have to say, I don't know where the fuck you're going with this point. It's not one that I have heard before.
Yeah, gotta be different.
Yeah, there's different is certainly one of the words for it.
Yeah, no, it's like you just got to get reunited with your family.
So,
because if you think about it, think about all the people you've never met in your entire family history.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fucking people.
Yeah, it is.
And there's actually, in London, I think it's at the Tower of London or near the Tower of London, there's a memorial. There's a photo of like 10-year-old me pointing at this memorial, you know, putting one of those.
Yes.
Up the boy.
Oh, Chavi.
Because there's a name on there that is, I think his name was Tom, actually. It's kind of quite strange. It was like Mr. Tom Redshaw. And it was obviously on like this war memorial. And I remember I was with my nana and I pointed it out and she was like, oh wow. Well, we've just found out that someone in our family is just on a memorial.
Yeah.
Which I found that pretty fucking cool, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, within reason, it makes sense, doesn't it? There would have to be someone in your recent history that was involved in a war in some respect.
Especially if it's within the last 100 years.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, if it was across history, then absolutely.
Yeah.
The only way that you have got here is because someone has fought somewhere. So
Yeah.
we come from barbaric ground.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Us Brits, yeah, definitely.
No, we do.
We've got a serious history.
Was it you that showed me No, it was Richard. There's a map of the world of how many countries have at one point or another been occupied by Britain.
Oh, we ruled a lot.
Something absolute. When you see this map, it's like
So half the world.
it's like
isn't it?
it's like 90, upward of 90% of the world not at one point or another has been occupied by the British.
It's just mental, I find.
Yeah.
Absolutely mental, because how such a small country managed to develop such a strong kingdom and a strong empire, I have no clue, but we somehow did it. And we won so many wars in the midst of all of that as well. We were beating really powerful countries with ease as well. Well, even being outnumbered and all sorts. Like I see videos like it pop up and I'm just like, jeez.
Does that part of... I should reframe what I mean by does that part of history interest you, because it's quite broad. I don't sort of attribute the same level of interest and intrigue to the 1500s to the 1800s as I do to the 1900s on onwards.
Mm.
It's somehow not as interesting to me.
Yeah, okay. There's one thing that will always interest me about history, and I took history GCSE, so this I remember learning about this. Yeah, so take a step back.
Hang on, Professor. Carry
on. It was medicine.
Yeah.
Sounds really bent, but and pharmaceutical of me, but
yeah.
The medicine just interested me so much because you learned about people like Mary Curie, all sorts of people like that, and it was genuinely so interesting hearing about how we managed to develop our health system to what is now the NHS.
Well, that's extremely concerning.
That is quite concerning, isn't it? Phone's just turned off.
Hang on.
Hold up.